So thanks a lot for the invitation. And yes, I will certainly focus a bit more on the underground condition and geology as a first talk. So the idea is to explain you first how we evaluate and prove the resource at Brussels, and then we make the geoscientific information available. And also, why we observe more and more improvement and more projects at Brussels is also because we demonstrate that shallow geothermal energy works by best practices. Then I will propose also to have a look at the very recent feasibility study that is going on at the European Parliament at the Poland Spaak building. And then I will just mention some policy and market context. So first of all, the resource evaluation. Even if shallow geothermal energy can be installed everywhere through various applications, the underground characteristics have to really be taken into account to allow a proper design. We observe in the past that most of a certain amount of projects are sometimes overestimated or underestimated. So that makes a not very good image of shallow geothermal system. So it's really important. It was the first step for us at Brussels is to really look at the resource, at the underground condition. So that's why several past and still ongoing research project funded mainly by Europe, by federal funds or even regional funds, demonstrate that the Brussels subsurface geothermal potential is there. So in a nutshell, I would like to talk about what is below our feet at Brussels. So there is two main domains. The first one is the Paleogene cover. When you look at the geological map of Brussels here on the right, you can see that we have these beautiful colors, but they are all belonging to the same tertiary sediments. It's mainly an alternation of sand and clay, so it's, I would say, soft rocks. And if we take, if we go a bit deeper, if we take a cross section here in this part from west to east of Brussels, then you can see that on the hills there is, these sediments, soft sediments can be very thick until the gray zone here, but on the valley they can be also very thin. So meaning that here we have only 30-40 meters of the soft sediment. And during a lot of years, shallow geothermal installations were only installed in these soft layers. So 1/3 of Brussels was excluded from shallow geothermal energy because drilling in this gray zone was not considered as an option. So this gray zone is a second domain, is a Brabant Massif. It's a Paleozoic basement with hard rocks that you can see here on the left. Whoops, sorry. And it's mainly composed of shale, sandstone, and quartzites. So we decided to focus our attention on these rocks, these Cambrian rocks, and to determine the potential of these rocks. So if you see, if you look at the map here, representing the top of these Cambrian rocks, you can encounter them at a very large depths here, from large 200 meters. But also very shallow at shallow depths here, more to the through the Seine Valley. So the problem, it's not a problem, but it's a complex and old rock unit, very fractured and faulted. It belongs to a very large massif called the London Brabant Massif, and the nature of the top, the thickness and the productivity are very uncertain there. But we observed the last years that 87% of the project there had a very important flow rate. We know that the thermal properties are very high in that kind of rocks. So a lot of research and development activities to really increase our geological knowledge was launched to assess this resource. And it was also done, what we made, we developed a strong collaboration in a win-win approach with a lot of private projects. So I would like to also thank these companies that are here listed, and also with the drillers to be able to manage a lot of data collection with them and a lot of scientific collaboration with them. So we also wonder, by exploring this unknown reservoir, if it encourages private investor interest. Because we made in 2016 an exploration drilling at Anderlecht, and then from that moment we observed that 12 projects were launched or are still currently under investigation in these Cambrian rocks. And we communicate a lot about the successful results of this exploration borehole through media conferences and so on. And we think that this exploration, by proving the resource and de-risking the resource in such kind of reservoir, that it serves really as a leverage. So it's a bit, I would say, the role of public funding in research to de-risk and prove the resource in an unknown reservoir. So what we made also, what was for us very, very important, is to make all the geoscientific data available. For that, a BRUGEO tool was launched just a few weeks ago. So it's a geoscientific and geothermal tool of Brussels. You have the link here. I really strongly encourage you to have a look at it. It was developed by Brussels Environment and also the BRUGEO team. And it's for experts, project managers, but also citizens that are just curious to know a bit more about what is below their feet. So for us, it was really, really crucial for project development and design to provide all this data online. So you can have, you have here just a print screen of the tool. It provides a basic and advanced underground data in 1D, 2D, and 3D. The geothermal data, of course, but you have also that helps you to design your geothermal project by the different steps that you have to follow for an open or a closed system. You have also the guide related to the permitting and legal frameworks that you need for your project. And finally, we also develop a geothermal pre-design tool that helps you to have a better idea of what would be your geothermal project. So then we demonstrate that shallow geothermal energy best practices. We are, as Philippe already said, we have a lot of European, regional, and municipality buildings that show the example of Brussels. So geothermal systems are integrated in renovation and also in construction of many European buildings. We have the NATO headquarters, the European Parliament, the Wilfried Mertens building, the House of Renewable Energy, the House of European History, and even a crèche. And it's also present in other public buildings like 2 municipalities. The Brussels Environment administration is also heated and cooled by geothermal. So, but to go further, we think that an economic energetic assessment of running systems is really, really important. That will be managed by the Belgian Building Research Center. Is really to look at what is really efficient or not at Brussels, and then it will be done through the scope of the GeoCOND project. So here you have a map with the 15 geothermal installation already existing at Brussels, and we realize that it's very important to have a detailed census to manage the resource in the future, to have a detailed information of what is already existing, and in the future to manage the resource, to see what could be the interferences between the system, and to manage the conflict of use of the underground. So we saw that the public buildings are more and more active in the transition toward green energy. And if you are more interested about this different case, you can have a look at the BRUGEO tool. There is a fact sheet release of the different current installations, so you have more detail about it. So just to come back to the Cambrian basement, so the Wilfried Mertens building was the first one to use closed system in such kind of reservoir. And very recently, the first open system was launched at Tourret Taxi in Gare Maritime in the Cambrian basement. So now, the European Parliament is also doing a lot of efforts to install shallow geothermal energy at Brussels. And there is a new exploration phase launched just 2 days ago. So it's coordinated by the Louis de Waal enterprise. There is a feasibility survey that will allow to determine the local geothermal potential there. So 3 exploration drilling will be performed. The hydrogeological and thermal characterization will be also performed by our colleagues from Artesia, and they will be supported by scientific teams from GeoCOND and ProGeo. So yeah, I invite you to follow the geologists on the site here. It will be on the EGEC blog website. So then to finish, to hand just a few words about the policy and market context. So about the ground source heat pumps at Brussels, in Belgium, we have already 28,000 ground source heat pumps installed. So it only represents 2.4 units per 1,000 inhabitants. So when Sweden are more than 55, I think, units per 1,000 inhabitants. So it's quite low still, but we observe that the market growth is there, and it was 21% between 2017 and 18, and we expect a large growth in the coming years. So about the legal framework, Brussels Environment just revised the water legislation, including open systems. So that's a really good step also to regulate the use of such kind of system. We have very slight incentive. It's only for heat pumps, all heat pumps included. But we saw that the stimulation of the building sector in the use of renewable energy systems. For example, at Brussels, the passive construction has been mandatory since 2015, and with an obliged heat demand not exceeding 15 kilowatt-hour per square meter. And we saw that the last years that really ground source heat pumps appears logically to be an important contributor to achieve this goals. So that's why also most of the public buildings are really thinking about such kind of installation systems. And we know that even technology is mature, even if now I would say the resource is more and more evaluated and proved. We think that additional policy measures and incentives are strongly needed to facilitate, support, and regulate the use of ground source heat pumps at Brussels. So I thank you for your attention, and I would be really happy to answer your question afterwards.